Many people who grew up in the 70s and 80s have habits that today seem absolutely wild. They wrap the TV remote in plastic. They write phone numbers by hand, even with a smartphone in their pocket. Super weird, right? But here's what nobody talks about. Every single one of those habits has a reason, a real one. They didn't just pick up quirks. They built systems in a world that gave them no instruction manual and no safety net. Today we're going to unpack 10 of those habits. And by the end, especially number 1, it's going to make you understand exactly why the brains of these people work the way they work. So if you're from that generation, drop your birth year in the comments right now. And if you're younger, get ready to finally understand the people who raised you. But before we begin, subscribe right now, hit the bell, and leave a like. Come along on this journey with me. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with number 10, the preserved object syndrome. You know exactly what this looks like. The TV remote wrapped in its original plastic, yellowed, wrinkled, covered in air bubbles, but working. To a younger person, this seems completely absurd. To them, it's engineering. The remote was historically the most beaten-up object in the house. Always getting dropped, always getting grimy. That plastic wrap acts like tactical armor. It prevents scratches, repels grease, keeps the buttons from fading. It's not neurotic, it's prevention. Protect the object, eliminate the problem before it starts. No stress, no replacement, no headache. And what if someone dared to remove that plastic?
Why would you do that?
You can bet it sparked a full-blown household war. Hey, try this right now. Look around and be honest. Is the remote in your house still mummified in plastic, or has it been set free? If it's still sealed, I guarantee there's one specific person responsible for that decision. And this leads us directly to number 9, the analog data backup. There's a little slip of paper tucked in their wallet, a small notebook somewhere in the house, a sticky note on the fridge. Even if the contact is perfectly saved in the cloud, they write it down by hand. This isn't distrust of technology, it's knowing that the most reliable system ever invented runs on ink and paper. No battery, no subscription, no update that breaks everything overnight. They grew up in an era when batteries died for good, and having a signal was more myth than reality. So their brain learned a physical backup means peace of mind. In the moment that number exists on paper, the worry disappears. Try this. Write down 3 key contacts on a physical card and keep it with you. If that simple act gives you immediate relief, you already know which generation you belong to. But now let's move on to number 8, the cash exchange ritual. Watch closely how they handle money. They ask for every last cent of their change. They count coins carefully. They organize bills by denomination. They pocket the receipt automatically every single time. This doesn't come from distrust toward the cashier. It comes from an upbringing built on constant mental math. There was no swiping a card. Money was something you saw, touched, felt, and physically managed. When money passes through your hands, your brain registers the loss and instantly makes you more careful. It's not being difficult at checkout. It's financial literacy learned the hard way, when the cost of a mistake was real. Many of them can tell you the exact amount in their wallet without even opening it, and when they see someone pay without glancing at the total, to them it looks like financial dark magic. Try this. Pay for something with cash only this week. Notice how differently your brain registers that purchase. That right there is analog generation mentality, pure and simple. This connects us to number 7, the patience of the scheduled viewer. They can sit down, turn on the TV, watch whatever happens to be on, and genuinely enjoy it. For younger people, this sounds like pure torture. Their brains need the dopamine hit of constantly choosing. But here's the psychology. When you don't have the burden of deciding, your mind rests. Fewer options actually reduces anxiety. They grew up under the tyranny of the programming schedule. Cartoons at this hour, the soap opera at that hour, the news at another. So they developed the ability to stumble across something random and get completely hooked. It's not limited, it's focus. There's a difference. Try this. Turn on the TV and force yourself to watch whatever's on for 10 minutes. No changing the channel. If you were born in the 80s, it'll feel completely natural. Which brings us to number 6, the phone call over the text message. They would 1,000 times rather pick up the phone and call than wear themselves out sending messages back and forth. To their way of thinking, if something can be settled in 30 seconds, you call. And that's that. So when someone sends a plain "hey" and then takes forever to respond, they genuinely cannot understand the logic. It's not impatience, it's respect for time. Voice gives the brain immediate context. Tone eliminates misunderstandings. It eliminates the anxiety of having to guess the intent behind a written message. Try this. Instead of writing 5 paragraphs, just call. One sentence. You got a minute? This is quick. If you were born in the 70s or 80s, you'll feel instant relief. And if the other person responds with, "Why don't you just text it?" Well, now you know exactly which generation they're from. And if you're nodding along to all of this, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Not for me, but for everyone else who needs to know they're not broken, just forged under pressure. Let's keep going. Number 5, the sensory and visual GPS. They give directions like this. Go straight until you get to where the old movie theater used to be. Turn at the little corner store when you see the blue house before the bridge. They're not confused. They operate with a visual mental map, built through years of real-world observation. There was no GPS. There was photographic memory and spatial awareness. They navigate by signs, smells, specific businesses, building colors, meeting spots. It's not being bad with technology. It's having a navigation system that doesn't need a signal and never loses battery. Think about this. If someone sends you a location pin, do you still ask what's nearby? That's not a limitation. That's a skill. Now let's look at number 4, the art of improvised engineering. A cord repaired with electrical tape. A chair stabilized with a homemade fix. A remote that only works after the exact technical smack. This isn't cheapness, it's a deeply ingrained repair mentality. Back then, fixing things was just normal. Throwing them out wasn't really an option. Going to buy a replacement wasn't just a click away, it cost valuable time. So they developed a sixth sense for improvisation. A paper clip becomes a tool. A rubber band becomes a critical fastener. Electrical tape, Scotch tape, super glue, the Holy Trinity. And there's always a junk drawer, a museum of useful objects that looks like chaos and always has exactly what you need. It's not being resourceful by accident. It's being trained to see solutions where others only see problems. That's engineering. That's self-sufficiency. It's a skill most people today would pay to learn. And next time something breaks, before you replace it, ask yourself, can this be saved? If your first idea involves some kind of tape, you've already given yourself away. And now pay attention to this strange behavior. Number 3, memorizing phone numbers. Ask them for a phone number and watch what happens. They don't reach for their phone. They don't scroll through contacts. They just recite it from memory instantly. Not because they're showing off, but because at some point in their life, remembering a number wasn't optional. It was survival. Before smartphones, before autofill, before just search for it, your brain was the contact list. So they trained it, deliberately, repeatedly, until those numbers became permanent. And here's what's fascinating. That habit never left. Even today, they'll memorize a new number after hearing it just twice. Not because they need to, because their brain is still wired to treat information as something you own, not something you outsource. It's not stubbornness about technology. It's a brain that learned early. If it matters, you carry it with you, not in your pocket, in your head. That's not old-fashioned. That's mental discipline most people today would struggle to replicate. But now let's shift focus to number 2. The turn-it-off obsession. They turn things off on pure conditioned reflex. Lights, TVs, fans, the stove, chargers, even the Wi-Fi router. If they spot an open door, they close it. If there's a light on in an empty room, they feel it, like a small alarm going off somewhere in their chest. This isn't a quirk. It's the direct result of growing up in a time when wasting anything was considered a cardinal sin, when the electric bill felt like a court summons. It's not anxiety, it's responsibility. They were taught that resources aren't guaranteed. Wasting them wasn't careless, it was disrespectful. That lesson doesn't leave you. Even today, when appliances are energy efficient, the hand still moves automatically to hit that switch. Try this. Leave a light on in an empty room for 2 minutes. Pay attention to your discomfort level. If your instinct is to go turn it off immediately, you already know exactly which generation you come from. And finally, number 1, heightened sensory perception. They pick up on details that almost nobody else notices, not because they're smarter, but because they grew up paying attention to the real world. Without GPS, without constant notifications, without a tutorial for everything, they learn to read their environment, the specific sound an engine makes when something's wrong, the subtle shift in someone's tone, whether the weather's about to change drastically. That's why they sometimes seem like psychics. They pick up on signals long before you do, their eyes, their ears, their street-level intuition. That tire sounds off. The fridge is making a different noise. Something doesn't add up about that person. It's not paranoia. It's precision, built over decades, running on autopilot. It all comes from the same place. A brain that learned to pay attention when paying attention was the only tool it had. And that is not a quirk. That is intelligence earned the hard way. And that's a wrap. How many of these habits do you still have? Write the exact numbers in the comments. I want to hear from you. And if you want a second part, where we go even deeper into the psychology of a generation that figured everything out through trial and error, write part 2 right now. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss what's next. See you next time.